Good afternoon and welcome to Pan African News. We are coming to you from our studios in Abelemkpe 48 Swanika Street here in Accra. We are live on Facebook at Pan African Television. We are also live on YouTube at Pan African Television. My name is Justice Apia. Coming up, a delegation of Parliamentary Select Committee on Local Government Sanitation, Works and Housing has embarked on a familiarization tour to some waste landfill sites across the country. St. Teresa's Catholic JHS at Nkwanta in the Oti region appeals to authorities for immediate help. Later on the international front, we'll bring you Jose Pedro Castillo wins the first round of the Peruvian elections. Details of these stories, including others, will come your way for the next 1 hour. We're going for a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now the news in detail. A delegation of Parliamentary Select Committee on Local Government, Sanitation, Works and Housing has embarked on a familiarization tour to some waste landfill sites across the country. The joint committee visited Osofo Krom landfill site and Asankai Integrated Recycling and Compost Plant, or in the Takrady municipality of the Western region, to ascertain the progress of work by the contractors.
The tour was also to help determine how these landfill sites would be phased out to pave way for tertiary processing of waste in the country. The chairman for Parliamentary Select Committees on Sanitation, Honorable Emmanuel Akwesi Jemfi, noted that the progress of work by the Jospon Group Zoomlion Ghana Limited is marvelous to behold. He indicated that the committee is pleased with the progress of work so far and therefore urged government to help develop and support the private investor, Zoomlion Ghana Limited, to help maintain good sanitation system across the country.
Government is looking for this opportunity to be replicated in all. So the committee will not just visit Western region, it will be moving to Ashanti region, it will be moving to Bono region, Western, North, Ahafo, Greater Accra, to see the progress of work done so far. So I believe that this is the time that we need to support the private sector to also partner government to deliver on our challenging sanitation situation. And I believe that Zoomlion Company Limited is doing well, and we need to encourage him to support government in this initiative. And I believe that when this is done, you and me will be the beneficiary of such an initiative. This is a long-term project. It's not just for the next 5 or 10 years. It's going to be there for longer period of time for people within the region to benefit. And as we are aware, when we are coming, as part of the project.
The ranking member of sanitation, Honorable Neelanti Vanderpoy, also urged government to support all waste management firms in the country to ensure proper sanitation. He also called for the increase of pay to the waste service providers. According to him, the low payment of services killing the private waste service providers instead of encouraging them.
For a ton of refuse, internationally, it's accepted that we pay between 35 and 50 euros a ton. And all over, we've been to Atlanta, we've been to so many places as a committee, and we find out Ghana, we are still paying 30 cedis per ton to the service providers. This 30 cedis has been there for close to about 15 years. There has not been any increase. In fact, at that time, petrol gallon was 4 cedis. Today, petrol gallon is almost 20-something cedis. And we are still paying 30 cedis to the service providers. We are not being fair to them. As a country, we are not being fair to the service providers. And I think it is time that all of us, the media especially, if you want the city to be clean, if you want the people who will lift your containers to lift every day and on time, it's not only about they being paid when their time is due, it's also being paid adequately and appropriately. paid for the service they are providing. You can't continue paying somebody for example, if the person should buy 1 gallon of fuel into a truck, waste management truck, that 1 gallon of fuel cannot lift a 1-ton container from town to this place. And you are paying the person 30 cedis. 1 gallon of fuel is about 20-something cedis. The person is going to pay oil, diesel. He's going to pay workers who work. So basically, we are killing the private businessmen who are providing service for us in the waste management sector instead of encouraging them and supporting them.
Peter Kwei Dagadu, who is the Western Regional Manager for Zoomlion Ghana Limited, stated that every region must be provided with waste plant in their region to help curb waste.
That during the approval of the budget, there was a special levy for sanitation. And you would have heard some of us say that we are budgeting about 90 million for sanitation, but we are generating 300 million from that tax. What we were subsequently made to believe at committee was that government was seeking to use part of that funding in order to pay for the services of these facilities. Because this businessman must be assured that there's a market and must be assured that somebody will pay the fee for the waste that is processed here. At this moment in time, can the ordinary citizens of Ghana pay for tertiary processing of waste? Which is a question we have not fully addressed. And therefore, in the interim, it appears government intends to be the sole financier in terms of providing the ready market for this facility. And we want to see whether, when this project is done, the pricing in terms of the fee, the cost of building this plant, and what the state will be paying to this facility to process the plant, and what will happen to the byproduct that will be generated. Because when you process waste, you get something out of it that you sell on the market. We want to see whether all that is factored in order to get sustainable rates that the people of Ghana can pay for. But also take forward the conversation as to the sustainability of these facilities. If government at some point says that I am tired of funding this, and it becomes something that the private investor must look to the public to pay for, what will be the framework within which the public can pay to have waste processed here?
Work on the Asakai site in Takoradi is expected to be completed in July this year.
Now let's go to the Bono East region, where statistics indicate that the Bono East Regional Fire Command recorded low incidents within the first quarter of this year. The commendable move has also boosted the morale of the command in discharging their duties completely and professionally. For a detailed explanation on the development, we have been joined on phone by Assistant Chief Fire Officer George Enimfrimpong, the Bono East Regional Commander of the Ghana National Fire Service. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for joining us on Pan-African News this afternoon. Now tell us more on the current development in the Bono East region with regards to, the situation of fire outbreaks for the first quarter of this year.
Oh, okay. Thank you for this opportunity. For the first quarter of the we've had fire calls or fire incidents 39. And then in terms of bushfires, we've had 4. Compare this to the first quarter of last year. Last year we had bushfires. So the situation we have currently.
All right, so what do you think might have accounted for the low record in fire outbreaks in the region?
Thank you very much. The reason being that electricity instrument with LI 2249, which is the amendment of the first LI, which was 2003 LI 1724. The new one is that we have to the people people and sit with them. So we say home safety education. And then we have mounted that exercise over here. Then we'll be moving to the households, to the churches, institutions, and then doing.
I think your line is muffled. If you can position yourself well, I'll be grateful.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you now. You can go ahead.
So what I'm saying is, we have been embarking on house-to-house education. That is one-on-one education with the public.
Very well.
And then through this, whatever is baffling somebody, the person is able to interact well with us. And this is getting into the people's mind to know what to do and what ought not to do in terms of fires. And it has yielded positively, and we are getting these low results. It came about that we now have a new LI, which is LI 2249, 2016, as against the old LI, which was LI 1724, 2003. So the new one has empowered us to move to the people one-on-one, and I think this is yielding positively, as I've already indicated.
Are there any other factors that could have contributed to the low records as compared to last year or the last quarter?
Yes. Now, the radio stations or the media, they are also interested in whatever we are doing here. Day in, day out, they call me and then be asking what people should do in their homes. So I think the media has been very helpful in this direction. These are some of the things that have been contributed to the low rate of fire incidents within the region.
Well, yesterday there has been a fire outbreak at the Techima Central Market. Is that place under your jurisdiction?
Oh, yes, under my jurisdiction.
What happened? Hello?
Hello?
What exactly happened? What caused the fire at Techima Market yesterday?
Okay, thank you. Around 12:55 p.m., we had a dispute from somebody that there was a fire outbreak at the Techima Market involving Latest Foam showroom, which is a 3-story building. So we quickly moved to the scene, and lo and behold, the fire was so intense that the first appliance or first fire tender that got there, it will be difficult to extinguish with the shortest possible time. So after assessing the situation, we had to invite other stations to come and assist. So we quickly relay our information to Wenchi, which is at the Bono region, and then Nkuransa within our region, Kintampo within our region, and then Ghana North. They are also having 2 fire tenders. So in all, at the end, we had 6 fire tenders on the ground, and that helped us to bring the fire and to control, we bring the fire under control and finally extinguish the fire. And then we had a problem about water. At the time of the incident, there was a closed bath, but there was no water flowing through the pipeline. So when we were short of water, we had it difficult getting water. So we had to rely on one of the hotels called Dero Hotel. They are having swimming pool. So there was where we replenished, extinguish the
How long did
fire.
it take for the fire to be
It's
extinguished?
not that there was no fire flowing through the main pipe. Such damage could not have been received.
How long did it take for the fire to be extinguished?
It took about 1.5 hours to extinguish the fire.
Were there casualties?
There was casualty, but extent of damage is so severe.
What would be your estimation of the damages from this fire outbreak we're talking about?
What will be the what?
Your estimation, I mean, of the damages.
The damage.
Exactly.
For now, and looking at it, then to be pulled down. The whole building should be pulled down. The 3 stories should be pulled down. So that alone is not a small amount. The quantity of items in the showroom, we cannot give it outright. So we are now investigating to sit down with the manager to give us the stock at that time involved. That is what we are doing. So maybe in the next 2 days, you will be able to come out with the cost, the actual cost involved.
All right, before I leave you to go, there are general concerns that the Ghana National Fire Service, you don't respond to calls on time. And then also, sometimes after, getting to the scene late, you don't have water in your, in your tanks and all of that. How would you react to that?
In fact, this is a historic thing that people repeat it day in, day out. It is something that we've been hearing, and we always try to explain, yet the public says so. Let me tell you one thing. The biggest fire appliance in Ghana, when they engage the pump, it will take just 4 minutes for the fire to get for the water to get empty in the fire appliance. 4 minutes. If you call your sister station, Joy News, I made a program just last week, and Joy News showed it yesterday, 6 a.m. in the morning. Okay. They repeated it 10 a.m. They repeated it at 3 p.m. yesterday, indicating that we always go to fire scene with water. But the nature of our that when it is engaged 5 bar, it takes only 3 minutes for the fire to get finished from the fire appliance. And they were shocked when we had that program and they video it and then they aired it just yesterday. So it is never true that we attend to fire without water. Because the water is our weapon. It's our weapon. And even the car, if it breaks down, there is water in the tank. And we are ready always to fight fire. So our car doesn't move with the driver alone. It moves with 3 other people. So anytime our car is moving, even for servicing, we have 4 men in the. So in case of getting incident on the way, they will be able to extinguish it or deal with it. So it is never true that fire people don't go to fire scene without water. Even people normally say, if there is no fire, we are just there playing draft and spa. Yes, we do that to people at bay, so that in case of any incident, it is not that time you are asking, where is farming, where is Kwajo? So the spa, the draft, the Owari, this game, indoor game, keep us at bay. We even have beds, students' beds, that we rely on it, and then when we are there and then doing nothing, waiting for incident to occur, then you go and lie on the bed, than to go out and then go and then maybe gossip or whatever it is. So all these things are done to keep us at one place, and it is not in Ghana alone. These activities are everywhere in the whole wide world. Even the US, the great nation, they play this draft, Ludo, Spa, and other things. That is the work of fire service, so that we can keep our people at bay, so that in case of any emergency, we can get them within 1 minute. That is our work.
Thank you so much, Mr. Enim, for speaking to us. We are so grateful for your time. We've been speaking to the Assistant Chief Fire Officer, Mr. George Enim Frimpong, the Bono East Regional Commander of the Ghana National Fire Service. Away from that, teachers and pupils of St. Teresa Roman Catholic Junior High School at Ikwanta in the Oti region are appealing to authorities for immediate help. According to them, the dilapidated nature of their facility is also hindering effective teaching and learning.
The school, which was built in the 90s, has seen little or no refurbishment. Additionally, the exceedingly worrying situation has contributed to overcrowding in some classes, and others are also compelled to sit under trees for studies. The teachers and pupils are also appealing to authorities for the construction of a mechanized borehole to ease the problem of accessing potable water.
The RCJHS is a double stream school. The block we have just captured is the block D. It got to this state since 2014. At the time I was an under teacher. I've been here. When we realized it was getting deplorable, we contacted the assembly engineer. He came to do the assessment and he advised we vacate the children from those classrooms, which we did. And so we had no choice than to match them in a classroom. So if you enter those classrooms, you realize we don't have less than 60 children in the classroom. But meanwhile, the rooms as they are not supposed to take more than 40. But we have over 65 children in each of the classrooms. We've taken the necessary steps. We have informed the authorities. We spoke with the MP some time ago. He came to have a look at it. He promised he was going to use part of his common fund to do something about it. But we've been pushing. He has not done anything meaningful to support us. We were with the municipal assembly. We spoke with the municipal chief executive about the condition of the structure. And he also promised. Until last December, we've been told they've awarded a contract, a 6-unit classroom block contract. Before the elections, the contractor sent his boys to have a few blocks molded, like you can see. But afterwards, we've not seen the contractor, we've not heard from him. We are only appealing that if that 6-unit classroom block is put up, it will help us a lot, especially now that we need to do social distancing in this COVID era. It will help, and we are appealing to all stakeholders, NGOs, who will be in position to come to our aid, to come and then support us.
Now let's go to the camp of the National Democratic Congress, where the Deputy National Youth Organizer of the party, Edem Agbana, has attributed the intermittent power cuts to lack of wisdom, capacity and mismanagement on the part of the energy sector. He made this disclosure on Pan-African Television's Hot News.
The doomsday we see today, okay, the doomsday we see today, indeed, they are saying this is a special kind of doomsday. It is a special kind of doomsday because it is a combination of a wisdom problem. It is a combination of lack of capacity on their part in terms of management of the sector. It is a combination of their mismanagement of the economy and their inability to actually prefer solutions to the problems that we face.
Okay.
Let me break this down. Justice. And I always want to give a historical antecedent to doomsday. In 2006,
okay,
President Kufuor faced doomsday.
Yeah.
What did he do? He paraded pastors and imams, took them to Akosombo to go and pray for rain. Because at the time, we were solely dependent on the hydro. And we had problem with generating power, enough power, because of the water levels coming down and all that.
Okay.
That was his solution. The MPP's President Kufuor solution was to pray for rain. So when the NDC took over, and we realized that from the investment that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah made in the energy sector, very little was done to increase our generational capacity. And so consumption had outgrown production. What we needed to do was to increase our capacity. We decided to do investment. So President Mahama went to Parliament, addressed Ghanaians and said, I am the leader, okay, who does not want to just provide a temporary solution to the problem.
Okay.
But I want to provide a lasting solution. A solution that posterity, that generations after us will come and appreciate that we did something about it. So he took the problem, took responsibility, confronted it, and through visionary leadership addressed it. Let it be on record that at the time the NDC was leaving office, there was no doomsday in this country. And we had enough power, and we were even exporting power to our neighboring countries. When we finished, they came and they said it was supposed to be financial. As we speak,
because they say
as we speak,
it wasn't a
the government of Ghana
issue.
is owing the IPPs over 700 million.
But they say they have negotiated with the IPPs.
It was about 1.4 billion. Then when the IPPs threatened to shut down operation and they realized the whole country was going to go off, they went to pay 700 million, and the 700, the rest is yet to be paid. As we speak, since 2019, government of Ghana has not released any money to Gridco. If they were getting, see, when they tell us that it's about maintenance work and all of that, Justice, who doesn't do maintenance on their machines? Or
You're still watching Pan-African News right here on Pan-African Television with me, Justice Appeal, coming to you from our studios in Abilinkwe 48 Swanika Street here in Accra. We're going for a short break. We'll be back with some more stories. Welcome back from that break. Now let's do some more local stories. The Human Rights Division of the High Court has dismissed an injunction application filed against the Achimota Senior High School by one of the Rasta students who were denied admission following their dreadlocks.
The court, presided over by Justice Gifty Ejay Ado, dismissed the application on procedural grounds. The judge ruled that the applicants failed procedurally on both interim injunctions, which was to last for 10 days, or interlocutory injunction, which was to last throughout the hearing of the case. Speaking to the father of one of the children, Ras Aswad Nkrabia, he disclosed that they have already started giving education to their wards from home after the Achimota Senior High School denied them an admission. He said this is an example of a colonial law used in disenfranchising people with impunity in the country. Ras Aswad indicated that they will pursue the case until justice is served.
He's already started his education online, and there are individuals that coming in the house to actually give him some teaching. Remember, he was taught at home before he did the homeschooling, right? So that is not new to us in terms of keeping him up to the level so that when the exam comes, he will be able to deal with it. But it is necessary for us to pave the way for future generations of Ghanaians, because as my sister just said, a whole colonial law in this time is using to disenfranchise Ghanaians with impunity. It is necessary for us to ensure that this doesn't happen in the future. No, I'm well pleased, and the reason why I'm well pleased, instead of putting the child through this 10-day issue of determining the judgment in terms of whether he goes back to school or not, you know, it wasn't really the best, and it's not really the best for 10 days, and then the next 10 days you have to, you know, redo the whole situation. So giving us that 7 days to serve, and then from there, we begin the process, I think is the best solution. So I am in favor of that direction.
Member of the legal team of the Rastafarian students, Ras Wayotete, disclosed that they will comply with the court order to serve the Achimota school for the substantive case to be heard.
technically, this ex parte motion, even if it is granted, it extends for 10 days. So in 10 days, we would have come for a repeat application where we have to go on notice. Where on notice means we serve the other parties. The ex parte means that we came to court without the other party. So that's the dynamics. If it had been granted, it would have lasted for only 10 days. So the court would have just said, okay, take the children to Achimota School, and after 10 days, Achimota School can say, okay, your stay here is 10 days, so go back and go and repeat the application. The timelines and all those dynamics. So the judge, in view of that, and also indicating that the first respondent, which is the Board of Governors, that is Achimota School, has not been served the substantive application itself. And so her thinking is that she will want to deal with the matter in an expeditory manner so that the case will move in respect of the substantive application itself. So this application will be refused. However, in order to speed up the trial of the substantive application, which is the application, which is the meat of the matter on enforcement of fundamental human rights, that is the main application, not this one. She wants to speed up and get to that application so that the child will not be at a disadvantage. So she's ordered that we serve this ruling that she's just given on all the parties. And then the parties, normally the rule says you have 21 days to respond. But by her order, when we serve this ruling on the parties, that is the respondents, that is the Achimota School, the GES, Ministry of Education, and Attorney General, when we serve today's ruling on them, they have only 7 days and no more 21 days. The rule says 21 days, but the judge is saying that because she wants to deal with this substantive matter itself, the enforcement of human rights, that is what she wants to deal with, and not take somebody in for 10 days, and then after 10 days, you come back again for another application. So in her mind, she's not too convinced, especially when the Achimota School has not been served with a substantive matter.
Some fishmongers at Jamestown are sitting with rage over some issues affecting the fishing industry. Speaking to Pan-African News in the aftermath of fishes which were washed ashore, they allegedly accused some Chinese residents in the country of fishing with chemicals, and the Food and Drugs Authority for its negligence in handling the highly controversial issue.
Sesi Ghana no can be na as a politics. Yawo Jamestown. E ho na yeton yenam. Ene yeri abaha. Yani abaha na yesi China fo no ene ehwepo no so sesi a. Empanimfo se omo wa ho no ma tompu na ma China fo a ye de yentumi nka. Ni ayenim se omo no mo ye adwuma no. Omo no ma use aduro bi. Esan say every 54 years na mimi gina hi. Mi hu enam abegu osenia omu ken mi hu bi da epunu sei ewo mo a epunu sei a yetumi se enam bi mienu ana mienu bi abeto enu de epunu sei no na wantumi na we bi a wewu enu kwa ye pre hu kofa enu na nse nso we de ye hu bi da ya twetwa ye hwa TV a hu nam adodo abegu ho na ye wanwa ye hu bi sada eti sesi ano ya to nam bebre omo mu kopu ye di nam bebre aba sesi omo sei adwa nyina enam na yesi omo de adrogu nso ye de adrobi ena agu epunu mu sesi a China fo no means ara memeka no se China fo na ya ja mpuna ma omo no ye na ma papa ewo punum nyina omo de ko omo krom enya ma papa na ewo ye no ye de ya ja ma ebinum omo de ko
you say Food and Drugs Board for no omo see omo my 1 week no omo abesampo no bi omo di koye lab test no omo afa nam no bi enti yesro omo say enam a ye wuwu na omo ye saade no a mpacho enye ye de no na radio station ni TV stations for no so mo nyina ye pa omo cho journalists no omo tina ono asemba no obi kan hey ohun ye
bi aku uka say enye mo na ma enti enam na
efri mponim ba enye dia ye ton no bi
sources can say nam na ewuwu ne na mo so na mo ton ama customers
yeah ntombi Jamestown poano say nam no ye ntombi ye ton grouper red fish red snapper doctor fish ye wo bi kra ye friend no form 4 no de okọ school wie enti ye friend no form 4 ye wo ti okọ oso ngonso wo ho enam no different
Well, that'll be all for the local stories. Up next is business. Welcome back. Now let's do some business stories. The Ghana's Grid Company has attributed yesterday's power outage, which hit certain parts of the country, to a faulty transmission line at Aboase Awomaso. The technical team initiated restoration efforts and was able to fix the transmission lines within 30 minutes. The firm unreservedly apologizes for any inconvenience caused and wishes to assure all and sundry that more than 80% of the substations have been restored, whilst efforts are underway to restore the remaining 20%. Now, this is the statement issued by Gridco, and it says outages in parts of Ghana. Monday, April 12, 2021 at 1:36 p.m. on Monday, April 12, 2021, the power system experienced a fault on the Aboase Awomaso transmission line, leading to the loss of supply to some parts of the country. The technical team immediately initiated restoration efforts and was able to fix the transmission network within 30 minutes. Gridco is working with relevant players in the generation and distribution chain to resume power transmission to all affected areas. Currently, more than 80% of the affected substations have been fully restored. Efforts are ongoing to restore the remaining 20%. Any inconvenience caused is deeply regretted. Corporate Affairs, Ghana Grid Company Limited, issued this particular statement. Away from that, the Liquefied Petroleum Gas, LPG Marketers Companies Association of Ghana is asking the government to reconsider the announced 18 pesewa upward adjustment on a kilogram of LPG. According to the association, the tax will further worsen the plight of consumers and subsequently lead to a reduction in the use of the product.
The association further indicated that the task is alien because it was not cited in the 2021 budget statement. The vice chairman of the LPG Marketing Companies Association of Ghana, Gabriel Kumi, has also described the move as harsh and inconsiderate. Ghanaians are also expected to pay more taxes on fuel products like the Sanitation and Pollution Levy, 10 pesewas on the price per litre of petrol, diesel, under the Energy Sector Levies Act ESLA. The other proposed tax in the budget is the COVID-19 health levy of 1% on VAT flat rate scheme and 1% on the National Health Insurance Levy, NHIL, as part of revenue measures to help the economy recover from the effects of the coronavirus pandemic.
Now let's look at the interbank cedi performance against some of the major trading currencies in the world. That's all for business. We'll take some international stories from our international partners shortly after this break. Welcome back. Now let's do some international stories. The trial of the 12 members of the Communist Party of Kenya, CPK, who were arrested on April 7, released on bond later, was postponed for the second time on April 12. Their identification cards were allegedly seized at the gates of the court when they appeared for their trial.
The party has condemned the delay in the proceedings in a statement and reported that defendants have still not been informed about the charges against them. The CPK maintains that these members have not been informed what charges are being pressed against them. Proceedings at the courtroom were aborted within 5 minutes, and the accused have been asked to present themselves again at 2 p.m. local time on Tuesday, April 13. The only reason given for the postponement was that the case was yet to be entered into the court register. These actions only confirm our earlier sentiment of how desperate this corrupt government is. They would like to intimidate and silence any voice of reason, the CPK has said in a statement. The members were arrested by the police who raided their party headquarters without a warrant on the afternoon of April 7. The raid occurred after police broke up a protest organized by the CPK and the Hotel and Entertainment Workers Union against the unscientific COVID-related measures of President Uhuru Kenyatta's government, which have disproportionately burdened the working class. The demands of the demonstration included the suspension of rents, compensation for job losses during the pandemic, food subsidies, and a halt to the negotiations that the government is holding with the IMF for a loan that will push Kenya further into a debt. These loans, the protesters maintain, will only benefit the elite, while the masses will have to foot the bill once again. During the raid, the police allegedly tried to access the membership registers and other internal documents of the party, which legally identified itself as the CPK only in 2019. For decades, the communists had operated under the cover of the Social Democratic Party because communism was criminalized as an ideology due to its advocacy of class struggle.
From Kenya, let's go to Peru, where Jose Pedro Castillo of the left-wing Free Peru Political Party won the first round of the presidential elections held in Peru on April 11. According to the preliminary results by the National Office of the Electoral Processes, as of 2 p.m. local time on April 12, Castillo has obtained 18.9% of the votes. Castillo's victory has come as a total surprise because until a week ago, he didn't appear among the leading candidates in any of the opinion polls.
Following Castillo in second place is Keiko Fujimori of the far-right Popular Force Party with 13.2% of the votes. She is followed by Hernando de Soto of the center-right Go On Country Party with 11.9%, Rafael Lopez Aliaga of the right-wing Popular Renewal Party with 11.8%, Tony Lescano of the center-right Popular Action Party with 9.1%, and Veronica Mendoza of the Progressive Together for Peru with 7.8%. Likewise, the quick count by the Ipsos pollster consolidated Castillo's victory with 18.1% of the votes. It also ratified the uncertain scenario regarding who his opponent will be in the runoff election on June 6. According to the results of the quick count also, Fujimori is in second place with 14.5% of the votes and is followed by Lopez Aliaga with 12.2% and De Soto with 10.7% of the votes. The ONPE declared that as the results show a technical tie between the three contenders, Castillo's opponent cannot be declared until all votes are counted. On April 12, George Salas, the president of the National Elections Jury, informed that the official results will be released in the first week of May. With respect to the legislative elections, both the official results by the ONPE and the quick count by the Ipsos indicate that the new Congress will be highly fragmented, with 11 parties having representation in the unicameral parliament and no party having an absolute majority. Free Peru, Popular Force, and Popular Action parties will have the maximum number of seats. After the announcement of exit poll results, which showed Castillo in first place at midnight on April 12, he celebrated his victory with his supporters in the Chota city. He called on his supporters to remain calm in the face of provocations and attacks by right-wing forces against him and his political movement. Tomorrow is a new day, not a day of immediate change, but of a struggle to undertake it, he said. With regard to his battle for presidency in the runoff, which would require him to seek support of other political forces, he stressed that the great alliance has to be made with the true Peruvian people. Meanwhile, the candidates disputing for the second place reacted differently. Fujimori, the daughter of former dictator Alberto Fujimori, called on her representatives working at the polling tables to be careful and save every vote. She also called on the right-wing forces to join efforts in the runoff to prevent the victory of those like Castillo who seek to change the country's current neoliberal and unequal constitution drafted under the rule of a father's dictatorship. Lopez Aliaga alleged that he had won the elections and insisted that there had been electoral fraud. He accused the electoral body of lacking transparency and said that he had his own computing center and that he would not let anyone steal the elections from him. De Soto recognized that the margin of votes between the contenders is very narrow and that he would wait for the final results. On the other hand, Lescano, who was the leading candidate in opinion polls, blamed dirty campaign against him and absenteeism due to the COVID-19 pandemic for his defeat. Mendoza acknowledged the results and declared that she is ready to assume the responsibility that Peruvians have entrusted to her. In August 2017, he led a nationwide teacher strike against the government of then-President Pedro Pablo Kuczynski. The strike ended in a partial victory, receiving some concessions from the neoliberal government. His government proposal included a mix of anti-neoliberal economic policies and socially conservative positions on women's rights and LGBTQ rights. Castillo has expressed himself in the favor of rewriting the country's constitution with the aim of carrying out an economic reform in which the state would assume a leading role in the economy to compete with the private companies. He has proposed nationalizing natural resources and strategic industries such as mining, oil, hydropower, gas, and communications. He has announced that if elected, he will govern with a teacher's salary and reduce the salary of congressmen. He calls this model a people's economy with markets. He also promotes the construction of a plurinational state with participation of the social movement, which he says will be part of his new government. He has also strongly pronounced himself against U.S. imperialism. However, he has come out against same-sex marriage and in support of existing restrictions on abortion rights.
Credit to People's Dispatch for the international stories. Up next is sports. Now let's do some sports updates. Ghana midfielder Mubarak Wakaso has joined Chinese Super League side Shenzhen FC on a 4-year deal with the club.
The 32-year-old has been a free agent after leaving Chinese side Jiangsu Suning. Jiangsu Suning FC has gone bankrupt due to financial crisis over the COVID-19 pandemic. He made 18 appearances for the side and also won the Super League trophy with them. The Shenzhen-bound player will be hoping to make the cut for next year's Nations Cup to be staged in Cameroon after Ghana top Group C ahead of Sudan, South Africa and Sao Tome and Principe.
Now let's do some boxing. The Ghana Boxing Authority has banned former IBF lightweight champion Richard Comey for 2 years after he made false accusations against its executives in a media interview. Richard Harrison Latte, on the other hand, has received a 5-year ban for forgery.
Deputy Raymond Zuenis led Ghana Boxing Authority, in a letter addressed to the boxer, imposed a 2-year and a 5-year ban on Richard Oblite Kome and Richard Harrison Latte respectively. Kome had, in an interview with a social media channel, made some false accusations and disparaging remarks about the executives of the Ghana Boxing Authority, and even though he later apologized for his comments, the sanctioning body insisted his apology was half-hearted and not contrite. He last fought in Ghana 2 years ago on March 11, 2017, when he scored a unanimous decision verdict over Hedi Slimani in a vacant World Boxing Council International Silver Lightweight title at the Bukum Boxing Arena. His last fight was a 6th-round stoppage victory of Jackson Martinez on February 13, 2021 at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada. Richard Latte Harrison, on the other hand, has been suspended for 5 years. Hence, the boxer would not be able to fight in and outside Ghana. According to the letter, the decision of the Ghana Boxing Authority was due to forgery of release letter with the signature of the General Secretary, Patrick Johnson, to enable him to fight Fabio Wardley in the United Kingdom last year, a conduct the body deems serious misconduct and a criminal offense. It also added that the boxer failed to appear thrice before its disciplinary committee without reasonable cause. The Ghana Boxing Authority said notice of the suspension of the license would be duly communicated to all relevant sanctioning bodies of professional boxing for the necessary compliance.
Well, Chelsea will tonight welcome FC Porto to the Seville in a return leg encounter in the ongoing Champions League. Paris Saint-Germain, after their impressive away win against Bayern Munich, will be hoping to win this crucial encounter to make it to the semi-finals of the competition.
Chelsea have won the first leg of a UEFA Champions League knockout tie for the 11th time, progressing on 8 of the previous 10 occasions, failing only against Barcelona in 2000 and Liverpool in 2007. They won each of their last 2 matches in European competition that were held in Spain, against Sevilla in the group stages and against Porto in the first leg. They have never won 3 consecutive European matches held in Spain. After beating Leicester City 5-0 in the group stages of this competition, Porto are winless in their 7 matches against English sides in the UEFA Champions League, scoring only twice while conceding 16 goals. The Blues are unbeaten in the UEFA Champions League this season and could become the first English team to go unbeaten across the first 10 games in a season, equaling the feat attained by Liverpool. Porto have only won one of their 20 UEFA Champions League knockout matches as their away side, with that coming against Deportivo La Coruña in the 2004 semi-finals. Sergio Oliveira has scored 5 UEFA Champions League goals for Porto this season, the joint most in a season by a Portuguese player, along with Nuno Gomes in the 99 season for Benfica. The last to score more in a European Cup campaign was Eusebio da Silva Ferreira, who netted 6 goals for Benfica in the 1967-1968 season. Mason Mount is looking to become only the second Englishman to score in both legs of a UEFA Champions League knockout stage tie for Chelsea after Frank James Lampard, who did so against Bayern Munich in the 2004-2005 season at the quarter-final stage. Paris Saint-Germain picked up a 3-2 win in the first leg away to Bayern Munich, while they have won all 4 of their previous games in which they've hosted the German side in European competitions. Bayern will be looking to progress from a UEFA Champions League knockout tie after losing the first leg for the first time since 2015. The German side have been eliminated in each of the last 4 instances when losing the first leg, with all 4 coming in consecutive seasons between 2015 and 2018. Since the start of the 2004 season, Paris Saint-Germain's total of 31 shots faced in the first leg against Bayern Munich was their most in a single game so far as the UEFA Champions League is concerned, Only 3 of the last 50 teams to lose the first leg at home in a UEFA Champions League tie have managed to progress. However, one of these 3 did come against Paris Saint-Germain in 2019, with Manchester United eliminating them in the round of 16 stage. Paris Saint-Germain became the first team to beat Bayern Munich under Hans-Dieter Flick in 17 games in the UEFA Champions League, the German side having failed to win both legs of a knockout tie in the competition since the 2019 season, doing so against Liverpool in the last 16 under previous manager Niko Kovac. After losing his first knockout tie as a manager in the UEFA Champions League in a 3-4 aggregate defeat to Juventus in the last 16 in 2018, Paris Saint-Germain boss Mauricio Pochettino is now looking to win his 5th straight 2-legged knockout tie in the competition. Kylian Mbappe has scored 8 goals in 8 appearances for Paris Saint-Germain in the UEFA Champions League this season and could set a new record for most goals by a French player in a single UEFA Champions League campaign. Bayern Munich's Joshua Kimmich has been involved in more goal-ending open play sequences than any other midfielder in the UEFA Champions League this season. The German has also provided 8 assists.
That's all for sports. Entertainment is next. Now let's do some showbiz story. Africa has a comprehensive list of tourist sites situated within it, with its natural bewildering sites open to the world. The Table Mountain, located in the city of Cape Town in South Africa, is an outstanding piece. The entertainment desk of Pan African Television brings you more facts on
Table Mountain, Afrikaans Tafelberg, flat-topped mountain in southwestern South Africa, overlooking Cape Town and Table Bay and dominating the northern end of the high rocky Cape Peninsula. Its tabular shape results from nearly horizontal layers of sandstone exposed by vigorous wind and water erosion. The distinctive-looking mountain is one of Cape Town's most recognized landmarks and is a popular tourist attraction that offers hiking, camping, and other activities. Table Mountain's stark, scarred 2-mile long northern face contrasts with the fertile summit plateau broken by small valleys and streams. 2 subsidiary peaks are detached from the main mountain: Lion's Head, 2,195 feet, that is 669 meters to the northwest, declining northward to Signal Hill, Lion's Ramp, and Devil's Peak, 3,281 feet, formerly Windberg or Windy Mountain, to the northeast. To the west along the Atlantic coast, Table Mountain is framed by a series of peaks referred to as the 12 Apostles. It is the only South African and only natural site on the planet to have a constellation of stars named after it. The constellation is called Mensa, which means table in Latin. Having withstood 6 million years of erosion, it hosts the richest floral kingdom on Earth, with more than 1,470 floral species. The first European to climb it, Antonio de Saldanha, called it Taboa de Caba, Table of the Cape. The mountain is now officially recognized as one of the new 7 world wonders. Over 800,000 people visit it each year. The rocks on the mountain are over 600 million years old, making Table Mountain one of the oldest mountains in the world. More than 70% of all the plants found on the mountain are endemic, meaning they are not found anywhere else.
Well, that's how we wrap up on today's edition of Pan African News right here on Pan African Television. But we'll bring you more news in our subsequent bulletin. Keep watching Pan African Television. And don't forget to follow us on our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter at Pan African Television. My name once again is Justice Appiah. Up next is Youth Empowerment Show.